Welcome. Today we're going to be doing a Quicksilver Pool Aspect deck. This deck is going to revolve around Quicksilver's re-readying and increasing his basic abilities, as well as using pool cards to amplify his basic abilities at the end of the game with Symbiote. At a certain point in the game, we will stop trying to get threat off the main and just go straight for the kill. Typically, this is how this goes. Sometimes it goes a little bit different. First, we're going to try to get our resources out, then our upgrades, and then try to do our wombo combo turns of just turning them sideways. We've went ahead and already set up the field, so we can go ahead and get started. With this deck in particular, we're going to be doing a mulligan. It's okay to hard mulligan in this one. We need to get started, and then his alter ego ability actually allows us to just do a secondary mulligan with how it's read. Because he lets you discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards. It gives you an advantage if you have Wanda out, which we probably won't have out on the first turn, or actually whenever we activate this, just because of how the deck plays. But let's go ahead and get started. So for the first draw, we'll draw our 6. We're looking for resources and things that give us more resources. For this turn, if we can get out Queen Carrier, as well as Reinforce Sinew, we will be in a really good spot because that'll get us 2 of our things we need to get started. Alternatively, we could try to get out Nick Fury, but I feel like we don't have the resources to do that. So we can actually discard Nick Fury and double time and Machine Man. Because they just won't do much for us right now. So we can go ahead and draw our 3 back. That's our mulligan. Right. Yeah, we drew Live Dangerously, which we really don't want to play in this situation, because this would escalate how fast the villain goes off, and we won't be able to really deal with that this early in the game. We also drew Helicarrier, so we have the option of actually going for Helicarrier and Queen Carrier to get more resources, which may be the right play here, instead of reinforcing you, because we can retrieve that back later on with the player side scheme that we have in the deck, Super Power Trading. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to ditch this one and Live Dangerously to play Helicarrier. And then we're going to use Reinforcing You, Helicarrier, and always be running, play the Queen Carrier. Now, sometimes it's better to go ahead and get into hero form and thwart down, which is what we'll do. So we're going to thwart 1. He's going to re-ready. He's going to thwart again. So now we have the scheme down, so next turn we can take an off turn pretty easily without being too hindered. We will ready for our turn and draw our 5. This is really good. We got Healing Factor and Avengers Mansion with the resources. So we're in a really good spot to keep going. So we're going to defend his first. Well, the villain phase begins. This is going to flip over. We're going to go to 1 for his response, for his delay counters, and this will go up by 1. The villain will then attack me. I'll defend. Alright, we actually forgot to put this in. We're going to go ahead and shuffle that in before we get going. He's going to attack me. I'm going to defend it. I'm defending for 1, so he'll deal 1 damage. Plus 2. So I'll take 3. And then he is currently wood, and he needs to ice straight to get his bonus, so we don't do that. And then we're going to get our encounter card, which is stone. So it's going to change him over to stone, and he gets surge. We're going to go ahead and see what we get here. Discard upgrade or support you control if new cards are discarded. So we got to discard a card. We'll get rid of Helicarrier. That's really unfortunate, but we can live with it. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's going to come back to our turn, in which we will be. We'll go ahead and actually thwart for 1. He'll re-ready. We're going to flip down and recover, taking us to 9. We will then use Self-Confidence. And I got this. Play Avengers Mansion. We use that to draw a card. Then we will use Queen Carrier and Genius. Go ahead and play Healing Factor. Healing Factor is just going to give us incremental healing throughout the game so that we don't have to turn down as much. We're going to keep Accelerated in our hand because that's going to allow us to get that out. We're going to go ahead and ready up. Draw our 5 cards to get us up to 6. And that was a really good draw here. So now we have our upgrades. We already have our resources. We're right on the game plan that we were looking for. The villain's turn begins. This will go up to 2. This will go up by 1. And he will scheme against us. When he schemes, he's going to scheme for 1+, so he's going to scheme for 2. That's not too bad for us. Then we're going to get an encounter card. That encounter card is going to be... Okay, so it's just going to place 1 threat because there's only 2 delay counters. So still not terrible for us. Then it comes back to our turn. Now, we have the option to discard 2 cards to draw 2 cards. At this moment, because we have Hyper Perception and Accelerated in our hand, I don't know if it's worth it. We could also go ahead and use Avenger's Mansion to go ahead and draw a card and see what we get. And get Wand off and then do that ability. So it kind of depends. I think we're probably just going to draw a card here. See what we get. And it's not a useful card, but we can use it as a resource. Do we have 2 cards we wouldn't mind discarding? And we can discard Always Be Running as well as Strength. So what we'll do is we will use Queen Carrier. No, we're actually going to get our resources out and not worry about Wanda. We're going to use Strength. Play Stick-to-Itiveness. And then we'll use Queen Carrier and Distraction to play Accelerated Reflex. And then we will use Scarlet Witch and Always Be Ready to go ahead and play out Quicksilver's Hyper Perception. Now this gets us a better defense and a better thwart, so next time we can go off really hard. We're going to go ahead and flip though. We're going to thwart for 2. He's going to re-ready himself, and we'll thwart for another 2 because he's being boosted by his Hyper Perception. And this is the early game plan. Keep the threat down, mitigate it a little bit, get a couple full alter ego hands, get your setup. This is actually really good for turn 2 for this deck. So let's go ahead and ready. We're going to draw our 5 cards for Hero form. And there's Symbiote Suit and Friction Resistance in the same hand. That's our last. Friction Resistance is our last card we really need for setup. Symbiote Suit, this is really good time to get it before we start going back through our deck. The villain will start first. So this will go up to 3. This will go up to 1. And the villain will attack me. I'll defend it for 2. I'm blocking his base attack. And he's not attacking for any bonus, so I don't take any damage. We get the encounter card. Because he is whenever he makes an undefended attack with his others. And we get this little guy. And when he's defeated, we get an extra encounter card, which actually isn't too terrible. Alright, it's going to come back to our turn, and we have some stuff we can do. We can use Stick-to-Itiveness. We can use Stick-to-Itiveness and Queen Carrier as an extra re-ready. I don't want to use that if we don't have to, but we also have Friction Resistance. So first we're going to Avenger's Mansion, which will allow us to draw a card. And that gave us Depth Focus. Okay, that's not bad. We're going to use this to go ahead and discard I Got This. And we'll do it again. Play Friction Resistance. Then we're going to use Friction Resistance for 1 resource short on actually getting out Symbiote Suit. And that's kind of a necessary evil for this deck. So we're probably going to keep that in our hand. We'll use Friction Resistance currently. Go ahead and play Deft Focus. And then we will attack with Quicksilver, which will then re-ready him from his ability. Actually, we'll thwart. Go ahead and get this down. And that'll ready Friction Resistance. We'll use Deft Focus and Friction Resistance. Go ahead and play Maximum Velocity, which will give us +2 thwart, +2 attack, +2 defense. So then we will attack for 3. Take that off him. And then we will call that our turn. We're going to ready up. We're going to draw 4 cards. The villain phase will start. This will go up to 4. This will go up to 1. And he will attack. I'll defend. I'm defending for 2 plus maximum velocity is 4. Actually, I could not have attacked the villain. Yep. I would have had to attack the Hydra Guard because it has guard. And this would be an encounter card. Let me not make that mistake. Then the villain would attack me. So I'm blocking for 4. He's attacking for 3. So no damage goes through. I get an additional encounter card. So this will change him to metal form. And it gains surge. He gets the weapon. And he gets avalanche. Reveal each player must choose to either spend 1 energy resource or take 2 indirect damage. I'll take that 2 indirect damage. This also puts an acceleration marker on the field, so this will go up a little bit quicker. That's just something for us to be aware of. All right. I did not re-ready myself at the end of the last turn. After I defended. Then it would come back to my turn. We're going to use Healing Factor to go ahead and heal up to 9. We're going to use Avengers Mansion to go ahead and draw a card. We have that always be running in self-control. So what we'll do is we'll use Queen Carrier in self-control. Play Symbiote Suit, which will take us up at 10 health. And give all of our basics +1. We will then use Death Focus to play Speed Cyclone. We're going to put a stun counter on the villain. We don't have to worry about defending the first attack, but he might have another one coming. We will then also, this goes up to 2. We will go ahead and use Friction Resistance, play Superpower Training. And this will let me go back and get that card we discarded earlier that I said I was going to get with this, which is fine. So we currently have 3 attack. No, we have 3 thwart, 3 defense, and 2 attack. So what we're going to do is we're going to thwart Superpower Training, which is going to let us, which is going to kill it, and Quicksilver's going to re-ready, which will ready Friction Resistance, and we can go through our deck and get Reinforced Sinew and bring it back out. So now all of our stats have +2. We'll use Quicksilver. He's going to now go ahead. We're going to go ahead and thwart off this. Get rid of this one. We'll use Friction Resistance for Stick-to-Itiveness, which will restand him. Then he'll attack for 3. Friction Resistance would have stood when he stood. We'll use Friction Resistance, will always be running. To ready him, and ready Friction Resistance. He'll attack for 3 again. We'll use Friction Resistance to play Several Industries. Several Industries I really don't play in this deck hardly ever. It just isn't really that relevant. It just helps get some cards back into the deck. Since we have 8 cards left in deck, I know we a couple of our bigger cards are in the drop. I want us to go ahead and flip over and go through the whole deck and not use it, because otherwise I don't run the risk of not seeing my ready ups again, and as well as the live forever or live dangerously, I might say. So I'm just going to let it go through the deck. So I ready up. I draw my 6 cards because I get +1 from Symbiote Suit. Yep. And then this goes up by 1. This goes up to 5. And the villain will attack me. I will defend it. I'm defending for 3. His base attack is now 3. So, well, he's stunned actually, so he does not attack me. Then he gets his 2 encounter cards. His first one will be an environment. So it's whenever he makes an undefended attack, he gets to do place more threat. It gains Surge, so we get another encounter card. This one is pay that one or take some damage. We'll take the 2. We're gonna flip this last one. All right, we get our set aside Nemesis minion. This is actually gonna be somewhat difficult. Because he's reveal set aside minion, reveal your set aside side scheme, and put it into play. Shuffle the rest of your side scheme Nemesis. Yep, we're putting all of it into play now. All right, that's resolved. He has Insight 2, which is going to go up by 2. And then each player must choose either take 2 indirect damage or exhaust their identity. I'm going to take the 2 damage. All right. And then it's going to come back to my turn. We're going to go ahead and use Avengers Mansion. We're going to draw that card, which gives us self-preservation. Don't forget our healing from Doggo. We're going to use Quinn Carrier and self-preservation for 3. We're going to go ahead and play Laser Swords, which will actually be giving us +3 because we have 3 emblems out right now. So our attack is currently 6. 1 from here, 1 from here. His original 1, which is 3, and then there's 3 emblems out currently. We do have a always be running. Then we'll use Deft Focus and Friction Resistance to go ahead and play Maximum Velocity. So now we have 7 attack. Yep. And we'll get to work now. We'll attack the minion for 7. He's gonna die. Then we're gonna re-ready Quicksilver. He's going to attack the villain for 7. Right. He will re-ready from his ability, and Friction Resistance will re-ready. We're going to use the Bomb and Bazooka, play double time. Should have went by 1 more. And double time will deal 2 damage to an enemy, which will advance him. And it'll deal 2 damage more to an enemy. That's the wrong way. Alright. Then I will attack for 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Use Friction Resistance to re-ready with Stick-to-itiveness, which will ready Friction Resistance. Take 7 more off the villain. And that's the game. I've played this several times with this deck. It's consistently beat him at turn 5. This build is particularly slow because it's relying on some of the more costly cards. With a little bit of refinement, you could probably make this deck a little bit better by removing like Avengers Mansion for more sleek abilities that just help manage threat earlier on, or either going really hard on getting the more resources and then not getting as many of them later on. But that's it for the day. That was Pool Quicksilver Pool into Absorbing. Thank you for joining us, or me. Thank you for joining me.